Hello, I'm a small African professor on Twitter platform. I'm a spokesperson, my chief linguist, African professor, and I can subscribe, share, na hit notification bell. Anytime be a new video, be a better so and answer can be one more time. We African professor on Twitter platform. Mom, chief linguist, my chairman, my baby, and I'm highly informative. So be part of African professor family and let's all move this conversation together. Then, come on, Mudino again. If I saw a helicopter crash now, it happened in Ghana, Dancy area. Now, I'm some comment on this video. And if I me say the helicopter crash in Ghana, spiritual or other reasons, we have a long way to go in Ghana. Lord, have mercy on us. Till you say, Lord, Yami, who you mobo, who Ghana for you, baby, who you mobo. You know, the helicopter crash in Ghana. Is a spiritual or other reason, other relevant reason that caused the accident, the crash to happen? We have a long way to go. Lord have mercy. I didn't know Makasa. Nyankupon hu emobo chese. Me ade ba kwa person tias. I didn't know Ghana bibia happy. Timbia ye de she bibi superstition. We trying to explain it, in terms of superstition, in terms of spirituality. Why? Nti chese obi inti say obi ankum obi a obingu inti say spirituality and I say bosomana bonsambi ni obi hye bibi ne obi na ye bibi na akoye enro bi hye moza sembia inti say plane crash and happen. Why is it that all the time a civilized country like Africa, Ghana, na the bia me you should Ghana me say Nigeria for the same thing, just a bia superstition. Na yet in the Yankopon so boy in Asia or Bonipa Biasa and Sasso. I didn't abrafon, so much so much in maybe the crown and teachers yet it be bia we explain it in terms of superstition. Make our America could say, Sir, helicopter crash here a happy and dancing area where Amma a friend say Ghana defense minister any environment and science minister any Sir Deputy NDC chairperson, Omawune crew members, and Nipa Bay 8. At this point, it's over here. Almost everybody, majority of Ghanaians think, hey, she said, even President of Ghana, Kra Mahama, she said, Wabotu Emre. Because if you are more for Utia, we are, hey, any, she said, Busumbi, and answer Bunsambi, and answer Obi, and the Shasi, Obi, I could no rituals, Bina. Just say, why? So bizarre explanation. Instead of looking at most relevant part, the reason it could be a mechanical, it could be a human error, be a pilot, inexperience, and also making mistakes, so dysfunction. Instead of looking at the fact that avionics system or a warplane and as a sensor system, no, it is how were they functioning at the time when that helicopter was airborne. These are some of the things we need to consider instead of focusing on some supernatural stuff. I didn't think Africa, not Ghana. I didn't think be piano. We attribute that incident to superstition. Why? Nature say a man said Obina war Air Force base one why a mistake near the idea and I say pirate error. Nature say go and ye near free so now baby any question anywhere superstition. Spirituality. And I must say, I suffer no more Ghana. The fake prophets, they say, woman, you feel dead. Omukoko because they say, Ghana for the baby, me, you should so much massy to a crowd, or be for playing beer because somehow, no, a superstition. And so in the instance, a beer airplanes now, a plaque, massy to a crowd, a beer, the servicing system, maintenance system near the idea, or may focus more on the quality maintenance, they won't focus on that. They will always think about superstition. They said they are Accra to Kumasi, two major commercial centers, Accra and Kumasi, two major cities. Road the link Accra to Kumasi. No, we can be. I come with try bear, me fancy since 1925. What baby? Stay the same road, and it's soon the busiest road in Ghana. And it is an accident to see. Bebre all the time any patriotic in me other day. Is there some behavior at this time, at this age, I see dual carriage roads, I have be I have 3, I have 4, I have 4. Obiana Mile Mono. Near say accident is Sisi Bebria. The frequency of the accident and many partitino, a treated in a bit better my happy bioma. Yang yes, you should be that quanos. And Afibia a guinea and away we born in tea. And the way I say, you'll be quiet ritual. What is all this about? That's what I want. Until I say, the helicopter crash in Ghana. Is it spiritual, supernatural, and I say superstition, and I say superstitious explanation, and I say other reason that is based on mechanical and I say human error, and of course, aircraft, helicopter crashing. What is it? Why are we focusing on the wrong things? And then I make us say, Mama, I suffer fake pastors. Says, Bedidi, Kofobe Bray, me sure say NDC for no members, government official, MPP, no, that's what they go. They will go to the fake pastors. No matter what you just say, and one, no problem still lingers on. And to share, Kumasi to Accra Road. There be any pay. Eti obedient me who answer say. And I say, what is it that people don't want to accept the fact say? A be a idea happen. A nipa problem drivers no wrong overtaking. Any the fact say a quano cars no more use no. A be crying deserve say as a road is police for Ejiska MTT U4 as MTTP. Omuji Eji drivers in ska no more jam ne car ne call. And he call down the road no be a ne tire busted. Now you came nini pau and I say jatum nini pau. They don't want to consider those factors. So why? See, young fat with it still said, and I make the main focus of this video no sir chopper and I say helicopter no tio. Se what say eyewitness and say true say no more who say plane no ehidue dia. Nature say a bit man say one most likely explanation is say there was a 40 altimeter. Altimeter no any determine plane no altitude. How the plane the helicopter was in the air. And if the altimeter is dysfunctional, and I say working well, and me pilot no cannot determine say be a obstacle be on the way into your hidium. You see, do have most of these people consider that instead of looking at the wrong place that superstition and suffer be so pastor be so who said about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It could be that, but it may be a mere coincidence. You see, these are some of the things. See, better or mem, maybe anytime be a problem be based. We attribute that to superstition, spirituality. There, then we have a long way to go, Ghana. Until I make us say, sir, title of the video may say, the helicopter crash in Ghana. Spirituality and not superstition, and I say other reasons. We have a long way to go in Ghana. God, Lord, have mercy on us. Because I make say chopper no, say he tea tree, and I make say often it could be the reason say one major problem Z9 China for building started building in 1981. 2 of the major reason problem of that chopper no, ni rotor blade no, so big fan is see plane is no top no is see chopper na say helicopter is no big fan and the money since say we chopper no is a problem sometimes no a more function and at the tail rotor we say we share the tunnel way back no it will fine be I say will fine be rotating and then the tail rotor and those major problem with that and he say more function the likely who ni say and I say the major factor ni say a bit mama plane a swing it and that was probably the reason it be a plane swing here a couple because any stability because of the malfunction and I say this the incapability of that rotor blade in the run. It could be either of them and I say both of them it be a name malfunction at that time. And now I say altimeter no they determine plane no altitude in the sky and I say in the air no may also be 40. These are some of the things I say you penny for na you should be any due diligence say at the Air Force base in Ansana or clear plane is a bit me a air worthy a bit me a the free a cry to or boashi and no mukono. And then another reason, another factor they have to consider most important factor is say how adequate was the pilot knowledge about the planning or regarding the flight path. Plane BR, yeah, sound altitude level say, okay, won't come more than 13,000 feet high. And that's 20,000 because plane B, 20,000 feet, it will stay 15,000 feet. And now we were anti flight path no demand no. Na a DN say ebia the flight path no, especially ebia the areas of dense vegetation, because if your baby are playing helicopter no coffee a coffee vegetation area in Riem, anti dense vegetation can also have influence. How high was the plane? And the Americans say flight path no, and here you can't so on fa. No, follow flight path no, and I say altimeter and then ebia working and ebia now was 40, and into the plane no, ebia lusu altitude no bar from a coffee dream, a single board. These are some of the things we have to look at it. Yeah, my country America had the most of it because of airplanes name, helicopter name, Air Force plane, over thousands and thousands of airplane in American airspace. 29th of January this year, black helicopter be named private I'm say commercial plane be echo boom collide with Potomac River in Washington DC. I just say in a funny because anybody because you home ewo tonsuo ye hu Ghana ke beka sensuo no penipa entina plane no we de nwanwa me see Potomac River omomuti Alexandra and also omuti Virginia will tell you it's a big old river at the Potomac River the Washington ne Virginia kobo Shakespeare Bay mu no me see plane helicopter military helicopter any bombardier bi some private plane bom ema say I don't any pan nyinam so mu wuyo sesa omu koto nsuo ma ye hu ebinum from. You see 29th January this year Ghana ke beka say hey be ye bonsam ne adade enti the point I making say and so America for no etimi determine say omu etimi investigation who say omu altimeter no plane no altimeter no sa your friend say em say Black Hawk helicopter no as ni altimeter na em say baako na more function entina sa na san height na de man no want me ani so a bia call either high or lower ball sa bomber crash here into the Potomac River no Ghana ya hwehwe sa ni man wanya na se hwehwe adenti no mama asofofo no fake prophets no enya control of Ghana so sa why muni say someone kofo e kan nyino mboa you can say something have a dream ni bibi be si ubetuma nya dream pa timi say bibi asi na kosia na no teacher say bibi be happen Ghana bia no superstition and I make a see madam for pa bi Australia no me think on us masa which political science or American I know say you have a good idea about how politics influence nation say developmental trajectory no identity. What do you think about what do you think say a dear pan cause Ghana your problems near there? And I can say the major problem with Ghana is culture. And then when I talk about culture, I mean, I say, yena nanomu ya himfun samune yenkonya samne ya bosum say yentungu. No, when we talk about culture is broad. It's simple way of life. The way you live your life, it's a culture. It's your culture. And the culture, and in every country, be our culture. Now, culture, is how the citizen and other people, the government, how we run things in our country that reflect our informed by our culture. And it's okay, they say, Obi Akusku we university. And he abusuafo nyina expect so we university so timi yeska bobra. And he say Ghana yakase one this are one of our cultural yakase bra e say so timi si that so si dan mo bra. And se nipa na adwuma o ye no so niska kro betimi yesi dan ne ade na kwan bi obefa so obekati corners bi anya yi no obeye. And ni nyina e na ohwe so Ghana so the major employer of Ghana government. And amanfo a omukọ koye adwuma bi border guards, immigration, oye adwuma airport, police officer, all these institutions omunyina so obi afi say expectation cultural expectation is so high so won sit down mobra. You see? And the kwan bi obefa so bia at the expenses of the national conference and here obewie ska no dey sit down and that's what they are bobra and yes obiso because we failure. You see? These are some of the cultural habits. And on there bringing your country down. And it's so baby happy. Sir, accident here happy, sir, plane crash. We explain it in terms of our cultural understanding. And the spirituality, the way we understand spiritual superstition. And somehow, baby, and our course with the Yanni KBC Ghana. So, baby also when in the first time, baby see Ghana with the M1. Baby said, you see how we explain things? And I'm catching on. That's what it is. You can deny it. I'll bet you for say, you're damo, you're cocoa, you're dance to stay with my because it is what a computer. Computer in the Ghana, no. We have the computer, good computer, all right. You're damo, your way, but the software, no, is the most important aspect of computer. And to call yes, on Ghana, no, your country, no, any computer, no, but the software in your cultural habits. How we understand things, how we contextualize, how we externalize things. So be happy and the way we interpret it, the way we understand it, our worldview of things, our country, our society. That is what it is. It's all boiled down to the culture that inform our thinking. And then I bring to be happy. We attribute that to superstition. And that is our problem. That's what I told my friend. And that's a fact. That's true. I brought from the DBT. You know my classroom. Ya chiro mo maade omo ni enu ma kusku bibia ne ade bibia omo ni say intellectual no omo better than us, but the only thing the BT and say culturally they are disciplined. Oh, enti ya no so Ghana we are not disciplined culturally. Enti atoto ni ma bebre agu na nti wo hwe sa year happy year helicopter dey ya munko busa Pakistan so etobi from China omo you should be omo bebre kura so any ade China busa omo issue omo ha have. Oh, they have issue. Because until what you say China for tons as in animal. You depend heavily on the foreign manufacturers, for maintenance and spare parts. You see, and the China a tons aircraft in Mawa. Answer the best service Mao. Now the question say, how often can you get them? And also about the DNA somebody passing, but what say China for so and your quality because we say Zina almost building upon French for a name friend said French doubling design. Now say China for some idea baby and yet quality wise. So and we depend on for spare parts, foreign manufacturers and the best service amount. And the question is how often do they come to Ghana and how often do they service the airplane? These are some of the things we have to consider. And I'm saying Mumusa Pakistan for the Pakistan for will tell you say sa ekrazina no sa no a struggle in the high altitude areas due to inadequate engine capacity. It does in a high altitude area, and I say when it faced with some maybe like say bad weather near that the according to sources that are not weather near so dark and I say murky and I say bibisa and a struggle in that. These are some of the things we and it's have frankly problem with the rodo blade is no near that it's my plane vulnerable. So and because of Ubusa Pakistan, I asked them, says Z9 EC helicopters, and they are all symbol of chronic failures and compromised performances. They don't attribute that to superstition here. They're just a Ghana to me. They is a Ghana for. Let's not focus more on spirituality, the spiritual superstitious aspect of it, because and play any role the most important part in mechanical failure. And I say human error, be a pilot. How competent was the pilot? That's what we have to look at it. And an investigation is mutimi ya ebema sa problems are solved. No munya sa ni manema moyen. And tina makasa me say, Maza, Lord have mercy on us because we have a long way to go. To go one person do one more time. We Africa Professor, so we share with friends and family. And I'll talk to you another time. Have a great day. Bye.